You're a pro, man. Come on. Get it together.
Thank you. You are my Sherpa. You're my spirit animal. Yes! Pump me up. Switch to Boost Mobile, where your taxes and fees are included on all plans. Plus, get 2 lines with 3 gigs of 4G LTE per line for just $50. That's 4G LTE per line for just $50. Jay Bradley. Boost makes it easy to switch. Switching makes it easy to save. Let's talk wrestling. Let's eat some food. You ready?
I'm ready.
It's car con carne. Let's eat in the car. It's car con carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Alstyne.
Am I stuck in the box? You're stuck in the box.
There you are. That's you. That's you. You're professional wrestler Jay Bradley. We are live on Facebook Live. We're in the parking lot.
You're JVO.
I am.
I know. I'm kind of like having a little nerd moment here myself.
Stop.
No, I am. Like I told you before.
You're the star in the car.
No, man. Like I'm going to age myself and you. Like I told you before. Like you were like one of the guys I used to listen to on Q101 from like whenever the 90s. I was a 90s
like
teenager.
when you were going through wrestling training? Were you
wrestling training, driving up to the north side of Chicago on Irving Park Road. Like I was rocking out to some Q101
That's
back
amazing.
in the day.
That's amazing. Well, I'm glad you're here. This is great. I'm glad we finally got to do this.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this.
So we're at Real Time Sports in Elk Grove Village. I want to thank Real Time Sports for setting us up tonight. Ben, the owner, gave us. It's a mystery bag of food.
A mystery bag, but he looked at me and was like, "I got to give extra."
Well, that was Vinny.
Food.
Vinny seemed gruff. He seemed firm but fair. The guy working the front.
He just probably looked at me and was like, "Get this guy away from my door! He's scaring the crowd away."
Ben was hiding in the back. We didn't get to meet him, but they just gave us a bag of food to try. I don't know what it is. It could be a bag of oats.
So you're telling me you could have like an allergic reaction and we're off to like the hospital. We'll get an EpiPen stuck in your ass.
Let's see. James and Jay are eating at our place tonight. Let's see how they feel about a box of fish sticks. Let's try that out on them. So literally, this is the unboxing of the food.
That's like a big deal nowadays. Like people do these videos of unboxing. I unboxed my video game. Wow,
oh, dude,
I unboxed my action figure. It's like I'm gonna unbox Jay Bradley and just take my shirt off, and then we're gonna unbox JVO.
Wait, have you ever had an action figure?
Dude, I've never had one. That's like the one thing that's eluded me.
You got so much career ahead of you.
I've got scanned for one. It was like the biggest tease. It was like literally like what tease in the the adult industry. Like
right,
they just took it out and played with it for a little bit because like I remember like sitting there. I think we were in San Jose and it was at a WWE event. And whoever was making the figures at the time, like, they had the scanner there. And I was on the list because I was about to get called up to the main roster. They didn't have me scanned. Like, we need to scan you. I was like, for what? They're like, or the action figure guys. I was like, yes! And it never happened. So somewhere out there might be a prototype. But if any of you collectors could ever find that.
That's like a super rare Boba Fett from like 1977.
Dude, I would probably give at least one of my testicles, if that actually exists, to have the prototype.
There's a testicle on the line for a Jay Bradley action figure. All right, so we're unboxing from Real Time. Thank you, Real Time Sports, here in Elk Grove Village. They gave us a pizza.
Smells like pizza.
It looks like a pizza box. Let's see what's in here. It looks like shrimp pizza.
Well, I don't think I'm going to be eating that because you will be sticking me with an EpiPen because I'm allergic to shellfish.
All right, well, good to
That's
know.
all you, dude. That's all you.
I'm happy to do that. All right, let's see what we got here. This is a giant tin. This is like a catering tin. This is huge.
What if it's like a giant thing of like, what that's like? That's like, hey, I just graduated high school. Come eat some mastacholi and fried chicken.
Exactly.
I got that's exactly what it is. Like every Sunday or Saturday from like June to July.
I seriously don't know what this is. This is a giant metal tin. I have no idea what. Oh, it smells like wings. Smell.
Oh, it does.
Do you like wings?
You're not going to make me put like those little hot orange pants on, are you?
No. Oh, it's got to be wings because. No, I don't know what that is.
Is that butter?
Butter. It's butter.
It's butter.
Now, hang on. Got onions, salsa. Let's see what this is.
It is like a sample bucket.
It's a sample bucket. My whole life, I've wanted someone to give me a sample bucket.
And this is the first time?
My first
time for everything.
All right, so we've got some ribs in here, some potato skins, some mozzarella sticks, and some gigantic. I mean, look at these.
Those ain't like chicken wings, dude. That's
are
like foghorn leg.
We got like a half chicken in here.
Dude, so like Warner Brothers is pissed because they just fried up foghorn in there and threw them in there.
This is amazing.
It's all right.
All right, so Real Time Sports. And I think they knew, if you're going to feed a pro wrestler. Right,
I got finger food.
You gotta supply a lot of food.
I'm a pro wrestler, dude. We got sleeves and hands.
So how much do you eat? You're a big,
A lot,
fit dude. Like, do you
Yeah.
just like burn calories just by talking?
I probably do. I'm guessing on a 3,000 to 4,000 calories a day.
I do that too,
Like
but
the
I
whole,
don't
like,
wrestle. Maybe that's
the whole,
my problem.
The whole 6 to 8 meals a day. Yeah, I do that.
Mozzarella stick. Thank you, real time.
Well, it was pretty good. I'm gonna try one of these tater skins.
Yeah, that looks good. This place is packed on a Monday night. by the
Oh
way.
yeah, they're slammed. I walked in. I was like, oh my! It was like crawling against the wall. Mm-hmm. But anyway, maybe it's got something to do with like Mitchapalooza going on tonight with the Bears and
little Bears game going
little
on.
Bears. Got this big deal coming into town called Mitch being our quarterback.
Yeah, so it's pretty nuts in there right now. Real time set us up, and I think my favorite cuisine, Jay, seriously, is bar food.
And you can't go wrong
You
with it.
can't go wrong with bar food.
I talk with my mouth. You can't. Like, you go into bar food and you're like, what do you get? And like, there's gonna be like 5 things on there that you want, and then you have to like fight the battle of like, okay, like, how disgusting do I want to get tonight? Do I want like the nachos drooling down my face?
Once you crack the seal, I mean, it's just you go all in.
and it keeps going, and it's all so good. And then like, what about the MacGyver like bar food where like they start doing like really crazy combos?
Wait, hang on. I've got to interrupt you. There's trouble about to happen on my dashboard. I think I got it.
Oh,
No. That's okay. Everything is precariously balanced right behind my phone. I'm going to try one of the world's largest chicken wings. I love buffalo wings. I mean, just hands down, I could eat those all day long. There's some heat. You know what we didn't get? Beverages.
ooh, that's a good point. Well, your mouth's gonna be on fire now, but the butthole's gonna be burning tomorrow when that stuff comes out the other end.
But it'll be glorious. It'll be glorious.
It's worth it.
Okay. The wings are delicious.
Oh, here.
And they're hot. Thank you. Oh, man. And I'll try the shrimp pizza in a second because you can't. Hey, can I eat it near you? I mean,
Oh yeah, you're fine with that. I'm just sure, like, I mean, you might. I've never eaten shrimp or shellfish. I just know I've got a pretty severe allergy to it, or so they say. You want to test it?
no, I don't want to test it.
All right, man.
Although we could make headlines. I mean, really.
You kill local pro wrestler.
Local pro wrestler. Local just because you're from here, but you're bigger than local.
Little bit.
Little bit.
I've been around the block a couple times.
Well, let's talk about that. We're going to talk for a couple minutes more on Facebook Live. Then the rest of this will be available on the podcast, which you can listen to on carne.com. I kind of think of you, in a sense, these days, as the Jimmy Chamberlin of pro wrestling. You were there with Billy. You were there with Billy at the beginning of his pro wrestling career, and went some different directions, the two of you, over the years, and now you're coming back together.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're like Jimmy.
I actually saw them in concert back with the band a couple of summers ago, which was great. But yeah, I want to say it was probably about 2010. I first crossed paths with Billy Corgan.
And this was Resistance Pro.
Yep. And I kind of heard about like some chatter, some gossip, whatever, that Billy Corgan was getting involved in pro wrestling and it was going to be in Chicago. And what was this? And I met the two business partners that were involved with it at the time. And I was kind of, if you want to say, like on a wrestling sabbatical. I was taking a little bit of a break from it all. And
Was it a sanity break?
yeah, it pretty much was like the pro. That's exactly what it was. Like, yeah, it was kind of like, this shit's driving me crazy. I got to step away for a little bit.
Because it's a hard business, right?
It is. It is. And then I met Billy and I had a conversation with him and the partners at the time. And I was like, all right, let's see where this goes. Let's see where this goes. And it's been a crazy ride.
Why didn't Resistance work?
I just think it was to the detriment or to the poor business planning on the two other gentlemen's end is what it really came down to. I think with someone like Billy involved, there brings a certain clout or
Sure.
a certain mainstream appeal to it.
Absolutely.
And I just don't necessarily think the other individuals involved, knew how to handle it all. But besides that, like, Billy and myself moved on to like greener pastures since then. And
If you need garbage, by the way.
bam. And yeah, so like we rocked it out with Resistance Pro here for a little while, and because of that, I got to know Billy on a really professional level and develop a personal friendship with him as well. And I think it kind of goes both ways, that we've both learned a lot from each other about, thank you, about just wrestling and then the entertainment business. I was there for a little bit when he put his foot in the waters that were TNA, Impact Wrestling, and I was on and off there with him, and saw all the shenanigans go down with that, and the legal proceedings that happened.
The headlines came really fast and furious. What was it? End of last year?
Oh, yeah.
This year? Yeah.
It was about a year ago, and it was crazy where it's like, suddenly you see someone, Billy Corgan, in a civil litigation or legal litigation, and that turns some heads. It's going to get a lot of attention.
Yeah.
And then just all the craziness that got uncovered because of that ensued, and it was just kind of like, wow, like what now? Mm-hmm. Well, now what now is, Billy Corgan went out and bought himself a wrestling company, and now he's...
Well, not just a wrestling company.
The National Wrestling Alliance, like the oldest, most historic one. I know.
The one, when I was a kid watching AWA wrestling, NWA was this exalted wrestling company.
I'm going here, by the way.
As you should.
I'm going here.
Like, I would go to the Rexall drugstore and pick up Pro Wrestling Illustrated off the
Yes!
racks. And they would always talk about the NWA. Ric Flair would be on the cover, Harley Race, or someone from down there.
Yeah, like you think about the NWA and the NWA World title, like there's some badasses that were NWA World Champions, like, and then you have like someone like Ric Flair who was like iconic with that belt, and is synonymous as a pro wrestling champion, like
right.
That's huge. Then Harley Race, Dusty Rhodes, both Funk Brothers, Terry and Dory. I mean, the list goes on and on, like of Barry Windham, another one, like they were just like. They're just badasses. You know what I mean? Like,
so Billy Corgan bought the NWA.
Yeah, he bought
the name, and he's advancing it into the 21st century.
Yeah, and I've had the pleasant experience of being involved with it in some way, shape, or form since.
These are really good, by the way.
Oh yeah, big thumbs up here. Being involved with it from back to the negotiation phase, like I just, as far as just. Him kind of letting me in on what he was actually doing and what he was planning and where he thought he could go or what he thinks he can go. And now that it's all coming to fruition, like it's pretty crazy. Like to think now, like a year later after all that litigation with TNA, like here he is, he bought the NWA, he owns the iconic logo, the initials, the letters. And what he thinks about, the last week or so. Oh, look at that. You got something stuck in your teeth. About just what he sees going forward for it and what he's going to try to do and what he wants to do with like a 20-year plan. So, it's not like some fly-by-night.
20-year plan.
He's got a 20-year plan to develop.
I don't know what I'm doing
brand.
next week. I don't have a guest for next week, and Billy's got a 20-year plan.
Well, yeah, but that just goes to show you, like, the type of person you're dealing with as far as, like, with Billy, like... I often jokingly tell him, like, he's a little bit of, like, a Renaissance man. Like, he's in, like, his music speaks to itself, like, in what he did with the Smashing Pumpkins, when he's doing on his own, but writing books and now running a major pro wrestling company, owning a tea shop, you know what I mean? Like, he's like, talented in as a creative mind in so many different ways, so it's just to sit back and kind of admire that sometimes. I think in, like, the last week or so, or at least since the 1st of October, more has come to light as they've done some more public announcements with him and Dave Lagana, where, it was just announced, I think today or yesterday, that, he's going forward with live events that everyone's going to be able to watch for free weekly.
Which is awesome.
So by the springtime, you can watch NWA Wrestling, and not only that, like, it's going to be contracted talent to help rebuild the brand, make it somewhat prominent again, and it's not going to be on a paywall. He just said he'd rather have 300, 500,000 people watching this wrestling for free than trying to get 5,000 people.
Yeah, because the rules have changed.
Totally, and like, look at you and I sitting here talking to this right now with vlogs.
We're doing a radio show and eating dinner in my car.
In a car.
Yeah.
And like, you couldn't. This was unheard of 10, 15 years ago.
For real. This was unheard of like 3 years
ago.
Really.
And then like, but that's the way the world is changing. Like, it's point and click. Everything's I want to watch this now. Okay, I want to stop and pause this, and I'm going to come back to it in an hour when my kid stops screaming. But that's the way the world is, and that's the way people are consuming content. So he wants to move in that direction with the wrestling products.
So you are one of the wrestlers he's leading with the NWA.
I can and I cannot say that.
We'll just speculate.
You can speculate.
Yeah, okay.
You can speculate.
So Facebook Live, thank you for watching. We are at Real Time Sports. The food is delicious.
It's really good. Trust me. Look at me. I didn't get to be 260 pounds by accident. I eat a lot of food. This is good food.
All right, so since we talked, Jay, about where things are going in theory with you next, let's go back to the beginning. We kind of talked about starting out, you're listening to the radio. What was it that made you want to do this, to be a wrestler? Was it watching it as a kid? Was it a friend who hooked you in? What?
My mom dropped me on my head.
And you just thought, wow, this is great. I should keep going.
Actually, that's kind of a joke because, no, my mom really didn't drop me on my head. But growing up, like, pro wrestling was, like, forbidden and taboo in my house. So what happens when you can be a mischievous young boy, not necessarily a bad kid, but just...
When someone says you can't do this,
you want to do it more.
Yeah, of course.
So, like...
Whether it's listening to a kind of music or
yeah,
watching something on TV.
and so, like, it became, like, the thing I snuck up early in the morning to watch on Saturday mornings, or I watched at my cousin's house or my grandma's house when I stayed the night. And so, but, you know, I couldn't watch it at home. So, like, of course, it was more attractive. And I was always in sports. You know, I played just about every sport growing up. And I was also really big into things like Star Wars and comic books, and I still am to this day. So when
this is why we're going to be best friends.
Are we BFFs?
I think we're almost there.
Okay.
We can talk comic books at length.
I don't do the whole bunk beds things like from the movie.
No, it's all. We could have separate rooms. We could trade comic books. We can eat pizzas together. We can have milkshakes.
I'm in the dairy. No.
Maybe a nice smoothie.
Okay, we'll go there. But I think, like, when I saw WWE back when Hulk Hogan, you know, and Ultimate Warrior and these guys, excuse me, the good food is coming back up in a belch, and it was just as good on the second belch.
I have more napkins in the glove if you need them.
Aha!
Sorry, I just hit your knee?
No, it's all right. But when I saw, like, guys like, you know, the Hulk Hogans and the Macho Man and the Ultimate Warriors, like, they were like comic book guys come to life.
Absolutely.
So, like, it was like the perfect marriage of, like, all the things that I liked, like sports and comic books, and I was like, wow, this is great. And it just kind of grew from there. And, you know, even when, you know, wrestling, quote unquote, got bad in like the mid to late 90s and it wasn't cool to watch anymore, I still watched. And it was still something like I, you know, snuck around and tried to get in there and view. I don't know what made me want to say, like, this is it for me. I just remember, like, sometime in high school, like, I got involved with some guys who, similar to you, like, you would go to get your PWI magazine and you would see, but this time it was Japanese wrestlers and luchadors and ECW, and the NWA was still kind of a smaller thing because WCW had really taken off by that time. And I was just like, wow, look at all this other wrestling. And as I went down this rabbit hole, then you start meeting guys who had like tapes of ECW, and you're seeing guys like Eddie Guerrero and Dean Malenko, like, you know, just doing the super athletic wrestling. And then you see guys like Jushin Thunder Liger and Masahiro Chono and New Japan, and the All Japan guys like Misawa and Dr. Death Steve Williams, Kobashi, Terry Gordy, and all these guys, and you're just like, what is this? This is just great. You know what I mean? Like, it's not all crazy cartoony like it was when I was a kid, you know? And then around that time I was really kind of like hooked, because like it was just become an obsession and a huge hobby, to where I think going into my senior year of high school, you know, I met some guys at some indie shows, and I was just probably a pest and bugged the shit out of them. Like, let me help set up the ring, let me help set up chairs. And then I met, you know, Danny Dominion and Ace Steel and Kevin Quinn, who had that training facility up on the north side of Chicago off Irving Park Road. And then next thing I know, I'm enrolling there, and I'm practicing 2 or 3 times a week, and it just kept steamrolling.
So by the time you were doing it, you weren't even thinking about it. It's just, I'm doing this.
Yeah. And then and honestly, it really snowballed. And actually there was a time, probably like 19 or 20, where I had to take some time off for some health issues. Like, I had developed a thyroid problem, and the doctor was like, you know, no physical activity for a while. So like at that time, you know, I think I did a lot of things like, okay, really, what do I want to do? I really want to do this. And then like when it kind of made me like really chomping at the bit, where it was like, all right, if I'm really going to do this, I got to kind of like buckle down and get more serious. And that's what I did. And like I said, just because I was a bigger athletic guy like that was able to open a lot of doors for me, and it just kept spiraling upward.
Good for you. I love stories like that.
Thank you.
It's well earned. So, did you come up with CM Punk? Did you train with him?
I did. Actually, crazy story, me and CM Punk actually grew up less than like 5 miles from each other. Didn't know each other until we started doing the indie stuff, and I actually helped him get enrolled at the Steel Domain to start training and start his career, because that's where I was training. And for a long time, him and I would almost talk and hang out on a weekly or almost a daily basis. And yeah, I mean, up until we both signed with WWE, like, you know, we were pretty cool with each other, and our kind of, I don't want to say like our careers didn't run parallel, obviously, but like they weaved in and out, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, he really blew up when I had to like take time away from the ring due to some illness, and he was just everywhere, like every weekend. But at the same time, that was like something that like I looked to achieve, like, wow, like he's out there every weekend, you know, busting his ass, getting noticed, getting matches all over the country. Like, there's no reason I can't do that too. And
right.
So I kind of like tried to follow suit a little bit, and, you know, and eventually paid off. It's not paid off in the same way, but, you know, I mean, shit, like I've been around.
Well, you're still doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about that. Tell me about getting the nod from WWE. How does that happen? So you're busting your ass as an indie.
How it happened was it's really different than it is nowadays. So anybody listening to this, it doesn't happen like this anymore because there's different processes in place. But so right out, I'm an alumni of Northern Illinois University. My last semester there, I got a call from one of my trainers, Kevin Quinn, who was at the time scouting for New Japan Pro Wrestling. They were particularly looking for heavyweights. Well, I was one of the heavyweights he actually helped train. So he called me, hey, they're interested. I've told them about you. Can you send me some stuff? Might have you come out for a tryout. And then from that point, after I finished college, I moved out to LA for the summer to train at the New Japan Dojo that was in Santa Monica at the time. I look back on it, I didn't necessarily show the best side of myself there because I was so overwhelmed by changes in my life and what...
Just moving to Los Angeles.
Yeah, that finishing school, and then like what wrestling in a big company actually was about. Like, it was a huge shift for me, and it was a big life lessons that I look back on now, because things I learned there I was able to use and propel myself forward, even though that opportunity didn't play out. But
This comes up again and again. There are so many parallels between the music industry and wrestling, between going from an indie to a major, which is kind of what you're describing. There is so much similarity, and I hear bands talk about their experience going from being an independent artist to a major label artist in much the same way.
Doesn't surprise me at all. And I think that's one of the things that, like, when I've talked to Billy about the wrestling business and his music business, like, there is that parallel. And that's why I think he does really well with wrestling, because he understands what that's like. But with regards to the New Japan thing, after I left there, because I spent time there, WWE had taken notice of me. And I kind of set a goal for myself where it was like, you know what, like, if it didn't work out with New Japan, but certainly I could probably try to get into WWE. And I set a goal for myself. And I remember sitting, I think it was like September 16th. I said, a year from now, my goal was to be in the WWE or have a WWE contract, and I did it in 14 months.
That's awesome.
Which was kind of crazy because, like, I started bugging the shit out of Tommy Dreamer, who was the head of developmental at the time, like calling him every week and sending him stuff, and then finally watching it and him taking notice, and then him booking me for tryouts and enhancement work, and then getting the notice by guys like Arn Anderson and Ricky Steamboat and Fit Finley, and then getting recommended for a job after I got a match finally in front of the live event audience. And that literally, it was, unfortunately, I think it was just after Eddie Guerrero passed away, I was hired because I was there the day Eddie passed.
Oof.
Yeah, like, just, you talk about a tense locker room and an emotional locker room, and I was supposed to have a match that day, and they just, like, they just, hey, we'll pay you, but we're asking you to leave right now because all the stuff going on.
Oh my God!
So you're just like,
I can't imagine.
Yeah, you're just like, oh man, was that my shot? And then a week later, they call me back and we're like, hey, can you be here? Great. And then that's when the match happened, and then they told me like, yeah, we're gonna hire you, like. And I just remember like driving back from like Cincinnati, like for like 6 hours, like through the night, like wide awake, like calling like all my friends, being like, bro, I did it, like I'm here, I'm in, oh my God, you know what I mean, like calling everybody I know. I'm back to date
As
myself.
Anyone would.
On my old Sidekick phone from the original, like the original like smartphone. But yeah, that's kind of how it happened back then.
So who was your first match against?
With them,
Yeah.
The match that I was hired after, I teamed with another independent guy named Jamin Olivencia, and I wrestled Val Venus and Viscera.
Okay.
The Love Machines, if you remember that tag
of course.
team. That was the match that they watched to hire me.
That's amazing. So you learned a lot from there, and you went indie. It's so interesting. I have a 15-year-old son. He loves the indie stuff. He loves going to AEW. I mean, ever since he was allowed to go, and the wrestlers get a little blue, so I had to be really cautious about when I started taking him to AEW events. But he loves the idea of independent wrestling. I told him about NWA, and he understands the history. He thinks that's so cool.
Sure.
Just to have someone that's not WWE plant a flag in that space and say, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this. It's, there's heritage, there's history. That's exciting.
I think it's a dual excitement when I look at it, because first of all, excuse me as I feed my face with this potato skin.
That's what happens. I'm going to eat some shrimp pizza as you talk.
By all means, just don't shove any of that in my mouth.
Of course.
You have the nostalgia factor where so many people recognize it's an iconic brand. It really is. And you have the history that comes with it, but now you also have what you want to call a blank space or a white space to create something new and different from what it was, while still respecting its history, and then something different for the fans in the marketplace. And I think that's what I really like about working with Billy, is because he understands creative. He's not so hard on and being very, for the most part, not very hard and being like, this is what it has to be, this is how I want it done. He lets the talent create as well, because he's from that.
He gets it.
He gets it. So I think that's why a lot of people will flock to the indies, because it's not as controlled as maybe a television product from WWE or Impact is, or even like a Lucha Underground. Like, there's less restriction. The guys can do more, say more, and it can be detrimental, and it can be a great thing depending on what kind of quality show you see or who's on the show. But it's that wild card, almost, wild west aspect, where like almost anything can happen at an indie show. And that's why I think some of it's thriving right now.
I agree. I totally agree. So it's still fun for you.
Yeah, absolutely. As I eat more potato. But, I'm one of those people, like, I can't do a job.
Like a 9 to 5?
I can't. Like,
A few of us can.
Right.
I tried it.
I've talked to people about it. Like, I am too much of a creative person at heart, where like I like to do things my way, and I don't like to have a lot of restriction on me. But like, it just drives me nuts to be in the same place day in and day out doing the same thing. And I totally just blanked out.
But I get it, and we have very different careers, but I feel the same way. Like with what I do, I don't want to necessarily know what I'm doing day in, day out. I want every day to be different. I want different things to come up. I want to go in different directions. I don't want to be locked into something. I don't want to be a banker.
Yeah, no.
I want to be surprised when I go to work every day.
Yeah, and I think that's part of, like, with me with wrestling. Like, I've tried to step away and do a 9 to 5 and do an office job, and it made me miserable. Like, and it was just like, and I would like literally like, it was like, why the hell am I doing this when I can go pro wrestle? And that's what makes me the happiest, and I'm really, really good at it. So I continue to do it, and there's ups and downs and ebbs and flows, like in a lot of careers, and I've been up, I've been down, I've made really good money wrestling, I've made no money wrestling. But at the same time, not being a 9-to-5 guy, I'm more driven by goals and accomplishments than I am by necessarily a paycheck.
Right, absolutely.
You know, like, yes, do I expect to get paid well for my talents and my services? Yeah, I do. But there's also a thing where it's like, okay, like, I can go make $100,000 sitting in an office hating my life, or I can go make $60,000 or whatever I'm going to make wrestling and sustain myself and be stable. I'm going to take the wrestling because I know I'm going to be a lot happier.
Right, and I'm a big believer, and maybe this is naivete, but I'm a big believer that if you like what you do and you work hard at it and don't give up, it'll come.
Yeah, eventually it does. And I think a lot of people give up, you know, before they should, or they shortchange themselves, or they hurt themselves with their own perspective because they, I don't know, maybe like stop trying. Mm-hmm. Like they stop trying to get better. They think they're already there. Where it's like, you know, no, you constantly try to evolve, constantly try to make yourself better as, you know, a talent or whatever you are, a creative, whatever you are, whether it's TV, radio, athletics. Mm-hmm. But it's that thing like they think they deserve something by now, and I'm good enough is where I think a lot of people fall short.
Agreed. All right, so I know in your head somewhere you have a favorite match, something that is emblematic of your career so far. What was it? What was that one match?
Oh, man.
On your personal highlight reel, what's the one that you would say you should check that one out?
I don't know.
Really?
Really? No, this is a hard question for me because, like, there's, like, and I go back to, like, an experiencing. Like, there's so much more that I want to experience that I haven't done that I can't look back and go watch this because I don't necessarily, at this point in time, think it's a real sample of what I'm capable of.
I get that. All right, let me take it in a different direction. Who are some of your favorite people to work with in the ring?
Oh, wow. I really liked working with Harry Smith or Davey Boy Smith Jr. I got to do some really fun stuff with him here in Chicago. Another local Chicago guy that did all right and pretty well for himself and was at WWE for a little while, Robert Anthony. He's another guy that I had some really fun matches with. Wrestling Vader was pretty cool too.
Oh, that's
like,
yeah.
Growing up and being a big guy, I mean, by wrestling standards, I'm a heavyweight, and Vader was like the top heavyweight or super heavyweight for so long. And even late in his career, I honestly think I had one of his last matches. Like, he doesn't wrestle much anymore, but I think his really last singles match, it for me was like just like a personal, like, this is fucking cool. You know what I mean? Like, I'm in a ring, I'm in my hometown, and I'm wrestling Vader.
Hell yes.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, and it was a really fun match. Like, it look, by like super wrestling nerd standards, they might watch it and be like, whatever. You know what I mean? There wasn't any like crazy head dropping or crazy bumps, or like we weren't like popping each other's eyeballs out like him and Stan Hansen did in Japan. But it was just the moment for me as a person, like, dude, like, I remember watching Vader growing up and being like, this is the baddest man on the planet.
Yeah.
Like, he came out with like that elephant mammoth mask.
He was scary.
And it sprayed smoke. You know what I mean? And then just the you know, the aura he had. Excuse me. I was always just like, dude, this dude's a badass. Like, dude,
That's
this guy could, you know, like how people like and kids look at like Brock Lesnar now. Like, that's what I looked at as like Vader growing up.
That
like,
seems like a fair.
Yeah, like he was just like, this dude is bigger than just about anybody I've ever seen, and he could probably kick the shit out of just about anybody. But that's what it was.
So when you're in the ring, chemistry is everything, isn't it?
It can be, yeah.
I mean, obviously you can work around it if it's not there, but having the right person in the ring with you can transform a match into something kind of magical.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think it's there's it's just like a chemistry of like personalities. Like, you're just gonna click with some people, personality wise, or a sense of humor. Mm-hmm. And I'm not even talking like, you know, like the romantic attraction sort of clicking, but it's like there's just some people like, hey, I can get along with this guy, or we got the same interests, and maybe it's just the same point of view on a match, or the same
Like instincts.
The
Almost.
instincts or feel in the ring where it's like you can just go with them, and that's really, really fun once you find those people that you get. I thought because I've wrestled Harry Smith a handful of times. We were in WWE developmental together, and weaved in and out with him, and then doing the stuff here with Chicago with him, like being able to train with him. And I knew, I had a feel for him. He had a feel for me. So, like, it just flowed very easily, and it was fun. There was no, like, oh, what if this or that? And it was nothing. And then Rob Anthony was another guy I felt I had that chemistry with, because the same thing. Like, we knew each other. We used to be roommates. We trained together. And you develop that. And sometimes, like, there's people where, like, you just get in the ring and it's there. And there's some people that it's just, this is going to be a struggle. And it's really neither one of your fault. It's just because you have different perspectives on the way the match should go or the wrestling itself.
How have you changed or evolved since you started as far as cutting promos? Do you like doing them?
Now I do them with food in my mouth, like right now.
Yeah,
I'm like a wild Samoan. I got like the turkey leg in my mouth. Yeah. You know what? Like at the time, I think I've really evolved as far as speaking was I had to get more confident in myself. And
there's a fearlessness to every aspect of professional wrestling that you kind of, it's incumbent. You have to have.
Yeah, and I think a couple people that really helped me out with it were Al Snow and Danny Davis and Dusty Rhodes.
Those are good people to have help from.
And I was in Louisville, and I was working underneath Al and Danny Davis on a daily basis. Robert Gibson was there as well. But I was kind of coached up before that, like in Deep South Wrestling was just like, just being a wrestler was enough, because wrestling's on the marquee, so wrestling's always what we're going to go back to. So just be like that kick-ass, wrestler with it's just like, on a mission, break a body part down, almost like an Anderson kind of a thing. And that's what I went with for a while. And it did all right for me through their system. And then, like, I'm getting told I have to evolve more and work on this and work on that. Well, it's like, suddenly, like, you don't feel like you're good enough, or I guess your confidence takes a hit. So, like, it was like, developing and, not even developing, but taking your natural personality and understanding how you can turn that up on the volume.
That makes perfect sense.
And then, like, the one thing, Al Snow and Danny Davis were really the ones that kind of helped me do that, whether it was just, like, Danny sitting me down in his office and being like, this guy that I see do this kind of stuff when you're fucking around or joking around, like, I need this guy out here in the camera. I need you to have that out there. And then Al helped me figure out how to do it or how to create that. But then, like, the one thing that, and I was always up and down with Dusty Rhodes, I felt. I don't know that, how he felt about me as a talent, like it was hot and cold, I kind of felt sometimes. But, like, the one thing he said to me when we were cutting promos, and I'll never forget it, because we were in Indianapolis, and crazy enough, where they're airing Raw at tonight, and Dusty was pulling certain people in the interview room to coach them up, and he literally looked at me, he was like, kid, listen to me, you cannot fuck this up.
That's amazing.
And he goes, no, and I'm not saying you can't make mistakes. You cannot fuck this up. I already fucked it up. I fixed it. I fucked it up again. Someone else fucked it up, and I fixed it again. It's like, it's been fucked up already. Everything that's been fucked up ought to been done. So you're going to fuck it up again? No, someone else did it before you.
Oh, my God.
So I get this, like, little dream pep talk about how, like, if you're worried about fucking up in pro wrestling, your fuck up has already been done 1,000 times beforehand. Like, someone has already...
There's the perspective. That's it.
You know what I mean? And that's what it was. And that always stuck with me, where it was like, even if I was always up and down with Dusty, but that little, like, promo he cut on me, where he was just like, kid, like, you've got the talent, you've got personality. Like, if you're worried about fucking up in front of the camera, for me, like, I've done this too. I fucked this up. I still drew money. Like, someone else came along and fucked it up worse than I did, and someone else had to fucking fix it.
This is just him basically saying, get out of your head.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's what I think it was for a long time. Like, I was just so anxious and in my own head and overanalyzing what I would thought I should have been doing,
Yeah,
and
I
then
get
just going out there and doing it. But when he gave me that little like pep talk, I was just like, oh, he's right. Like, this fucking business has been around for like 100 years. There's been how many
There's like
people?
permission for you to exhale.
Yeah, like there's how many people that have done this before me and have screwed up worse,
Absolutely.
or not, or screwed up the same thing I think I'm gonna screw up, and guess what? They were all right. Like they did it, and from there on out, like I got really really comfortable to where like I mean it became part of my shtick for a little bit of while, like even like my later days in WWE, where it was like when I was in OVW, or they would literally chart out time for me to just talk shit to people before my match, because they would just make people want to see me get my ass kicked, because I was just cutting, improv on these people. And to this day, like I have friends that do improv in the city, and like they'll call me from time to time and like, hey, can you fill in, or do you want to? We got an amateur night. Do you want to come in on my team, kind of a thing? And I've done it a couple times, and I love it. I bet
it's a blast.
Oh, it's incredible, and it's incredible. But it's like it's also, relying at myself that I'm pretty quick witted. I'm pretty well spoken. You know what I mean? And I can articulate ideas, or I can need to go over someone's head with. All right, the kids aren't going to get this one, but the adults are going to get it. You know what I mean?
You said it with what Dusty said. Permission to fuck up. Once you have that permission,
yeah,
it kind of lets you exhale. And okay, this is going to be what's
That's
going to be.
what it was like. That's what it was like. Exactly. It was just like, oh, the monkey was off my chest, or the gorilla off your back, whatever you want to say. And it was just like, all right, man, I'm going to do whatever I want to do now. And like, if it sucks, you can tell me it sucks. And if it's gold, I'll keep doing more.
All right. So right now, where can people see you?
Right now,
other than the parking lot of Real Time Sports in Elk Grove Village,
as I suck barbecue sauce off my thumb.
There's some fetish sites that would actually pay for that. They'd put that.
I can make a buck for that?
Oh yeah, they'd put that behind the paywall.
That's a good idea.
Absolutely.
I can make a few bucks. Anyways, you can follow my exploits. The best way is on Twitter, which is the little @ sign, or the ampersand, as the fancy people call it, I believe.
You can just say @
J Bradley, JayBradleyPW, all one word. Going forward locally in the Chicagoland area, I will be at Joe's on Weed Street November 12th for Zello Pro against Marche Rocket. And then November 4th, a newer company that's just starting up called, get this, Berwyn Championship Wrestling. And then guess where it's at?
It doesn't get more hyper-local than that, huh?
Berwyn Eagles Club presents Berwyn Championship Wrestling.
Oh, my God.
Right? November 4th, I will be there. Which is how full circle is this, that I've gone all over the world, and I'm back at the Berwyn Eagles Club.
Hey, man. I saw Samoa Joe there like 2 years
ago.
Like,
I don't even know who I'm wrestling, but I'm just going back to the Berwyn Eagles Club, where Chuck is still the bartender there.
It is like Thunderdome in there.
It really is. Like, that place has gotten to be between like AAW and Shimmer and some of the other companies that have run that place as like, it's almost like, if you're a Star Wars fan, like it's like Tatooine. Mm-hmm. Like everybody goes through Tatooine at some point in Star Wars. Like you start there, you come back there, you die there, you get set on fire, or you lose your droids, like you lose your cell phone. It's at the Berwyn Eagles Club.
That's amazing.
But yeah, and then going forward, we'll see where I land. It looks like I might have some opportunities going back over to Japan in 2018 as well.
Wow.
So
you are busy, dude.
I try to be. I really try to be. Like, aside from just the local stuff, as far as here in the Chicagoland area, I've got some stuff for Dave Hero's Great Lakes Championship Wrestling up outside Milwaukee, and Steel Domain Wrestling up in the Twin Cities for the next couple months. Tommy Dreamer's House of Hardcore up in Milwaukee the first weekend in December. So I try to keep myself busy, because honestly, like I realized, I think during one of my like downtimes, like if I don't have pro wrestling, Jay Bradley ain't the happiest person in the world.
I get it.
So like I just try to keep myself busy, and I select places where I feel like I'm it's worth my time. Not only am I going to make a couple bucks, but like I'm going to have a good match. It's going to be seen by, there's an outlet there to either, whether it's like a fight TV or a TV show or a streaming service. Yeah. So it's like, it's things like that like, hey, like we joke about how much I eat and I work out or whatever like that, but that kind of keeps that machine churning where it's like, I want to stay in shape for that. I don't want to like let myself go, and I want to make sure I'm up to par, and because
every match you're in moves the ball forward.
Yeah, and I kind of look at that way because it's like another thing that like I learned with WWE from guys like Tommy Dreamer and a Mike Bucci is like, every match you have is your business card.
Yeah.
So it's like just like probably every podcast or time you get on the radio and click on that mic, it's like, who's listening to this? Who sees this? Who's going to remember it? And did I leave an impression?
Well, that's just it. And going back to the comparing wrestling to bands, I complain a lot about band set lists. I'm a fan. I go deep on a lot of bands and albums, but I realize when a band goes too far off the reservation and doesn't play any hits for like 30 minutes, every time you perform a show, there's someone in the audience who's never seen you before and who may only have that one tether to you. You have to assume whether it's a wrestling match, a radio show, a concert, there is someone watching, listening there who is completely new to you. And this is your shot.
Yep. And I think going back full circle with this conversation, like with how Billy kind of understands things, and a lot of people would come to me and like, I was Billy Corgan getting into wrestling. He don't belong there. Sick to me. Like, he knows more about performing for an audience and how to elicit an emotional high or a low from
he probably knows how to manage egotistical talent.
Well, that too, but it's like
big egos are probably tough to corral.
Oh, absolutely. It's like herding cats.
For sure.
But with like the set listing, it's like you like, all right, I want to bring the crowd up with this exciting song that they're going to know. I want to introduce a new one that might subdue them, bring them back, drop them down low. It's the same thing pro wrestlers do.
You're like a conductor.
Yeah, for an entire wrestling show, you're up and down with emotions and your attention. How long can we hold your attention span with a certain emotion? And then each match is like that. You're going to have a fast-paced match. This next one's going to be slow. This one's going to be methodical. This one's going to be all over the place. So it's very similar, and that's one of the things I think he understands, which is really to his benefit.
Absolutely. All right, I can't tell you how much fun this has been.
I'm almost full.
You still have some work to do there. Yeah, the food was awesome. Thank you again, Real Time Sports.
Thank you, Real Time. My mouth is on fire, and I'm sure I'll be going through the toilet paper tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And that's not a bad thing. It's just saying your wings are really hot and they're really good.
There's a cause and effect. Sure, it's perfectly natural.
It's like, at least I'm not eating Taco Bell at 4 in the morning after a night of drinking, because we know what that does.
That's never any good. Thanks also, Boost Mobile. Jay Bradley, you're awesome. I can't wait to see you in November and beyond.
Thank you, JV.
Thanks for doing this.
Of course. Thanks, buddy.